What's up, guys? Hope you guys are doing good. So, today I'm coming on to talk about options. Options for those that don't successfully match into residency. You often hear people wonder, oh, if I don't match, what's next? What's next is there for me out there? And there are other things that you can do. Of course, the knee-jerk reaction response to that, like say if you don't match, is to say next year I'm going to reapply. But it's also important to keep in mind that before you apply, you do need to improve your application. So do other things. I know people that have gone ahead to like maybe get a master's degree or something, maybe a master's in public health or MBA or anything you feel will help you. Others will also like join any kind of form of research that's related to the specialty that you're looking to apply to. So that's also something else you can do. Another important thing that you can do as well is to write your step 3. So sit for this step 3 exam and pass that, because these programs, when you start applying, they now look at you as you're basically a complete package, right? Because you've taken USMLE steps 1, 2, and 3, and there won't be any reason to say, oh my goodness, he may not, or he or she may not pass the exam during residency, which is usually another issue altogether. So if you don't successfully match, let's say this year, and say you've gone through SOAP and you weren't successful at it, then by all means, go ahead and sit for the step 3 exam. So when it's time to apply the following year, you basically have everything ready. You actually be ahead of the game by having step 3 already completed. So that's something to do. I've also been able to talk to a few other candidates that I know were in the successful last year. And one of the things I recommended to them was, in addition to writing step 3, find some form of research to get involved in, okay? I know most people say if you work, if you have a job, likely you go back to your job or whatnot. If it's healthcare related, I really don't see anything in continue your job and all that. It'll take you a year to apply again. So they'll want to know, what have you been doing within that 1 year? I hope you weren't just sitting around like, oh, well, since I did match, I'll just kind of sit around and wait till the next cycle rolls up. So you want to be involved in something that helps improve your application. And like I mentioned earlier, getting a master's degree, if that's something that interests you, that's also a good one. Like getting a master's in public health, you can't go wrong with that. If you have the means, the time, the availability to do that, it doesn't hurt. And the research as well. So the other thing that you can also consider is being a tutor for other medical students, right? Especially those that are studying for USMLE exams. I was a student tutor when I was in school, more of a peer tutor, where you sort of tutor your classmates, those who are struggling with certain courses. I happen to be very good in microbiology and pharmacology, so I always taught like my fellow classmates with that. But one of the things I've noticed, especially with those that I've interviewed from this year, the ones that didn't match from previous years, when I ask them those questions about what they spent that time doing, this is one that has been coming up a lot. Like tutoring classes where you teach students on study habits, study strategies, on how to pass the USMLE exams and stuff like that. Because you applying for residency tells me that you've already passed step 1 and step 2, so you probably already have the process down packed as far as like scheduling and how you study. So these are things that you can actually do to use that sort of like enrich other students. I believe this year I had about 2-3 applicants that's what they spent their time doing, tutoring other students. And it's a good look on you, to be honest. It's really a good look, because we look at it as you're still involved in medical education. You were enriching, the knowledge of other people, so you still kept your knowledge going. And there is something about you teaching other people. You never truly know something until you're able to teach others about it. So if you're teaching someone else how to pass the USMLE board exams because you excelled at it, that tells me that, okay, you're probably at the point of an expert at this, because you understand it well enough to be able to impart the knowledge of other people. So these are some of the things that you can consider. I know it sucks, like going through the match cycle and then going through the SOAP and not being able to secure a residency spot, but understand it's not because you're a bad applicant, it's not because you're a bad student or whatnot. It's just because these spaces are so limited to the point that even these programs, they're just basically trying to find whatever they can find to try to filter out applicants, because they know there is no way they can actually provide spots for everyone that applies to their program. So in your case, the best thing you can do for yourself is to improve yourself every chance you get. Do that research, get in that publication, okay? Whatever job that you're doing and it's related to whatever you're trying to go into, if you need to volunteer, any kind of healthcare related work that you're doing that relates to the specialty that you're trying to go into, I think it doesn't hurt your application at all. So just use that time wisely, just because when you get interviewed, when you finally do get residency interview, they will want to know how you spend that time away from school, basically trying to see, did you use that time wisely. So that's all I have to say for now, okay? I'm gonna keep this short and simple, guys, but there are options if you don't match your residency. Please go ahead, like and subscribe, and I appreciate you guys for doing that. Until then, I'll talk to you guys later. All right, bye.